Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/surviving infidelity, where OP ghosted his cheating fiance. Let's begin. My fiance cheated while I am living overseas, and now I'm moving back home. Posted by Reddit user Oscar Willin Out.
So right now I am living with my now ex-fiancé in the UK. I am from the United States, moved over here to get my degree, and that is where I met my ex-fiancé. Fell in love. It was really like out of a movie. I graduated, worked a shitty job in food service over here, but it was all worth it because honestly, I have never been happier. We moved in, got informally engaged over the space of about a year. I thought we had everything. I got a new shiny job that I started last month. We were talking about planning our wedding and buying a house. I had the money to buy her a ring so we could formalize the engagement, and I put down the deposit for that on Sunday. This brings us to Monday. She lied about something to do with her new job. I will not get into details because it's not that relevant, but it was something, one, that had nothing to do with our relationship, and two, trivial. We have an argument and I called my dad. My dad says to go apologize to her because the lie was trivial and probably just out of embarrassment. I do, but I say to her, if you have lied about anything else you need to tell me. I thought she was about to tell me she had lost her job. I am addicted to messaging random men online. She has been sexting and sending explicit images to random men online for the entirety of our relationship. I am broken. I took a long look at my life here and realized I have not had the time or resources to build up a robust support network. We were planning on getting married for my visa, and now that is not an option. I weighed my options and talked to my parents. My parents are fairly wealthy and supportive. They have offered me a space at their new house. It is a beautiful ranch house in the country that is close enough to a major city where I could start applying for new jobs and get myself set up. They even said they would buy me a used car. It seemed like a no-brainer. I have in retrospect built my life here around a promise, the promise of a life with her. Now I am stuck in a foreign country with few friends, many graduated and moved on, and a basically non-existent support network. I have maybe 2 people I can rely on and am in a precarious position when it comes to visas. At home I have a guaranteed place to stay, work options with no worry of needed sponsorship, and my family. I am headed home next Saturday if all goes well. I will miss it here, but right now I know I cannot stay. I keep thinking of reasons to, but none come up. I will likely never see her again once I leave, which is both a relief and saddening. I still love her. I see her sleeping on the couch and I want to hold her. But I know it would just be delaying the inevitable. I am broken. I am applying for new jobs, trying to put on a brave face when my mom talks about arranging health insurance and jobs, but I lie in bed most days and just try to sleep. I am so scared of the unknown, of moving home and regret.
OP, your ex-fiancé is addicted to male attention and validation. You cannot fix her, my dude. She never felt guilt over her betrayal. That's why she kept doing it. Even if you stayed with her, she would only continue to do so and seek attention again. Worst of all, she's definitely fucking these random men she meets online. There is no way she's not. Listen to my words, OP. Stop getting engaged so quickly into the relationship. I hope you learned your lesson, man. Good luck. And now for today's second story. My mother did things to my boyfriend. Posted by Reddit user Anxious Writer.
My mother immigrated from her country at the age of 19. She was looking for a new life with my biological father. Well, it didn't take long for my father to use my mother's family isolation to physically and mentally abuse her. I was born 2 years after she arrived in Chile. My mother and I ran away from my father when I was almost 3 years old, and after that, we had no contact with him. As I reached adolescence, our financial situation improved. My mother always went out with me to do girly things. At the time I thought it was fun, but in reality it was strange. My mother presented herself as an older friend and tried to blend in with my high school friends. I thought that she gave up her youth and that now she wanted to enjoy these moments with me. When I went to college, my mother asked about parties, which started to bother me. I created a line of separation with her. It was strange how my mother wanted to be my friend at parties, but I always overlooked it, thinking that maybe it was just her wanting to live the youth she didn't have. At the beginning of this year, I started a relationship with S. He is from my old city. I know his parents and he knows my mother. We grew up basically in the same neighborhood and college brought us closer. They heard 3 days without classes to resolve internal college matters. As my city is not that far away, S and I agreed to go home together, spend time with our families. S has 3 brothers, 2 still live at his parents' house and recently his grandmother also moved in with them. So S's family house was really full. He asked if we could stay at my mother's house and she agreed. The first day was normal. S stayed with her parents and only came home at night. On the second day I went to a friend's house. I missed her so I was excited to see her. I invited S but he didn't accept. So I went alone. You know when you have a great day and without any warning something horrible happens. Well, I returned home earlier than expected. When I arrived, the place was empty. I looked for S and my mother but I didn't find them. Then I called them both. S and my mother came home. They were laughing and happy. They told me that they had stopped by and even bought food for me. It wasn't a story I would suspect. At night, S was in the shower and well, it was wrong but I ended up seeing his cell phone screen turn on with a message. S doesn't put a password on his cell phone, so I ended up looking quickly and saw my mother's name. We were in the same house so I was curious what that message was about. It was disgusting. She was saying sexual things and praising how good he was, asking if he could sneak out at night and some other shit that you really don't want to read. I burst into tears right there. I was angry and very hurt. I ended up going after my mother, shouting at her and cursing her. S appeared scared and I confronted them both. S confessed crying and my mother tried to deny it. Well, I left home and I went to stay with my friend until I went back to college. S continued after me, saying that he was manipulated. My mother says that I shouldn't be mad at her since she just showed me that my boyfriend is a cheater. Simply the worst story I've ever seen. I feel like it's a little bit of my fault. I missed so many red flags from her. I guess I just thought she's my mom so it's okay. I'm back in college. S is after me and my mom keeps making the calls. What should I do here? Cut ties with her completely. Can I do something to make S leave me alone? Has anyone here been through something similar and can tell me what to do so I don't feel like shit in the middle of it? Edit. I will be explaining some points here. 1. My English is bad. I make spelling mistakes because my first language is Spanish, but that doesn't mean the story is false or I'm a troll. 2. I have a job that covers my housing and food costs. I also don't have additional college costs so I'm financially secure. 3. It was suggested that I was after the paternal abuse story. I don't know if I want to get involved in that, nor do I know how to find a father at this point. So maybe that's something I'll look at in the future. You made your point clear to cut all ties with both of them. I will be working on it. It won't be easy, but I will do my best. Thank you for your personal support.
OP, I'll keep my advice to you short and sweet. If anyone has the audacity to do that to their own child, then they do not deserve to be a mother. Cut her out of your life. Things will only escalate if you don't. And now for today's final story. Am I the asshole for not inviting my brother on our family barbecue cookout because of my daughter? Posted by Reddit user Concerned Dad.
So, our family has this big barbecue cookout once every 2 months. People take turns on whose house it is going to be next. This time it is in our house. These events are really big in our family, almost like a festival so everyone closer to us will come. Recently, my daughter, who is 13 years old, seemed really upset and tried to make it postpone or just to avoid it, which is odd because she loves these family cookouts. She wouldn't tell me the reason until she finally did. She said she is not comfortable with her Uncle Frank, my brother. I asked her why she thinks like that. She says he gives her weird vibes. Some things he does that really makes her uncomfortable. Hugging her tight, holding her waist gently, always gives some excuses to be near her. She claims she caught him looking at her chest. He also makes comments like, "You are going to be a heartbreaker. You are turning into a really beautiful woman. You are mature for your age." Last cookout he asked her if she has kissed anyone. When she was shy he told her, "Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. It will be our secret." I asked her would she be comfortable if we do not invite him. She agreed to that. I did just that. I only invited my mom, my dad, my younger brother and my sister. Frank knew that I didn't invite him. I just said what my daughter told me. Frank took it as an offense and said my daughter is lying. In fact, she was the one who always comes on to him. I told him I cannot have him around her. I am sorry, but I have to respect my daughter's boundaries. The whole family is divided, but most of them took Frank's side. They think my daughter is just lying for attention. I can tell she is not lying because I heard her crying because she thinks her family hates her. I told her that is not the case and not to blame herself. My brother said since Frank hasn't done anything, it would be unfair to uninvite him because what he said was just words, not like he meant it, and just tell my daughter to stay away from him if he makes her uncomfortable. The only person on my side is my wife. She is sure Frank is showcasing predator behavior towards our daughter. She was groomed when she was a teenager and says this is exactly how it starts. I don't know. I do want my daughter to feel safe. Frank has never shown any type of predator behavior. In fact, I heard him say a lot of times that pedophiles should be sentenced to death. He is overprotective of his own daughter, but on the other hand, I cannot ignore my daughter's feelings. Did I do something wrong here? Short update. This isn't much of an update to my last post, but there was a big fight. I can't tell all the details, but I can say one thing is clear, that my brother Frankie will not be near my daughter. My daughter is very upset because of the fight. Some people are still calling her a liar and an attention seeker, but I can see how it is affecting her mental health. So I have decided to cancel the cookout. Instead me, my wife, my son and my daughter will go to a Korean barbecue instead. Hope this can cheer her up. I will give a full update about the whole thing later on. Take care. And now for OP's full update. Okay, it has been a hectic few days for us. Yes, I did take my daughter out for a Korean barbecue. She enjoyed it. Might have got a little sick because she thinks she can handle spice, but happy nonetheless. Well, the talk with my family didn't go so well. They were all defending my brother. They all think either my daughter was lying or trying to frame Frank because she was at that age of being a rebellious teenager. I don't see the point of where she had to lie. She had no bad blood with my brother. She would always say Frank was her favorite uncle. She has no reason to lie. I didn't listen to them. I canceled the cookout and told them anyone who will call my daughter a liar or a bad name will never be invited to our lives. I said this especially to my parents. They believed me but still tried to defend my brother. Lastly, I talked to Frank in public. He denied everything. He was insistent on my daughter being a liar and that she admitted to having a crush on him. I do not believe that. I told him to not come to our house. If he wants to meet or talk to me, we will go in a public place. But he is never to be seen around my daughter. My younger brother has been quiet because his fiancée berated him for taking Frank's side. You see, she works with a non-government office that helps women who are suffering abuse and assault. She came to our house and had a little chat and explained things to my daughter that this is not her fault. I am glad my brother picked right. My daughter has been sad. She loved the cookouts and barbecues, and now we might never attend because Frank might be there. She cries and thinks this is her fault. She even said she will say sorry to Frank and take back what she said just to be done with it because she doesn't want people to think she is a bad person. It honestly made me sad that she thinks like that. It is not her fault. She shouldn't apologize for something like that. She is still very much disappointed. We will arrange a therapy for her. I don't want to lose my cheerful daughter over this. Frank's girlfriend did call me to curse us out, by the way, and she is blocked. That's it. I am going to focus on my family from now on. I don't need people who blame my daughter instead of the culprit in my life.
You are a great father, OP. Your family, however, especially those who defended Frank, can go fuck themselves. I'm glad you're taking your daughter to therapy to work on her self-esteem. Heed my words, man. Frank will screw up in the future, but it won't be with your daughter, and that's all you can control. Once he is caught and outed, remain no contact with his defenders, even if they try to apologize. Good luck, OP. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.